Welcome to another Vixa Vaughn romance audiobook. We're excited to have you join us. Whether you're into second chance romance, enemies to lovers, fake marriage, or any other trope, Vixa Vaughn offers you the chance to escape into stories that will carry you away into heart-pounding romance and gripping characters. While we want to get you the full experience, some parts of this audiobook are abridged to stay abreast of YouTube's community guidelines. If you want the full experience, you can always head to Vixa Vaughn Romance and use code VIXA40 to get the unabridged version of this audiobook for 40% off. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Chapter 1. Stacia. Good day to you, madame. I'm Stacia Eleanor Keys, and it's my pleasure to serve your home today. I happily greet Mrs. Anna Wellington's guests as they pause by the threshold of her vast mansion. The younger one looks quite dignified in her white dress and pumps, but Mrs. Wellington looks even more magnificent in her exquisite morning gown and Sunday hat. You would be hard-pressed to find a more elegant 50-year-old. She giggles at me. Oh, for heaven's sake, Stacia. You've been here for 2 lovely years. There is absolutely no need for that introduction. I bow down. Thank you, madame. It's just that every day I wake up, it feels like my first day here at the Wellington estate. The guest approaches me and smiles. So this is the famous Stacia Keys who I've heard so much about. I'm quite impressed, Anna. You have yourself a prize indeed. Beautiful, courteous, and from the looks of your home, a damn hard worker. Mrs. Wellington laughs proudly. I have, haven't I, Connie? You must be dying with envy. You won't believe how I found her. She was waitressing in one of those god-awful Applebee's restaurants, and this horrible manager was treating her outrageously, even though she gave us immaculate service. I had no choice but to hire her on the spot. It's my pleasure, Mrs. Wellington. Miss Retfield, I greet and bow. Upon further inspection, I can see Connie is quite the red-headed beauty. She looks to be the same age as I am, and yet, behind her angelic smile, I can't help but feel a tinge of animosity. You are to be commended for your service, Stacia, Mrs. Grace Moore, a frequent guest in the mansion, and one of Mrs. Wellington's closest friends, compliments before turning to the host. Now, Anna, weren't you supposed to show me your latest Fabricio painting? You've been teasing me about it for so long. Oh, yes, you'll just die of envy. Mrs. Wellington laughs again before addressing me. We'll be taking our leave, dear. Carry on with your tasks for today. Consider it done, I reply. The women excitedly walk up the stairs, but before they're gone from my sight, I see, from the corner of my eye, that Connie has stopped, staring me down for a quick second. But as I turn to get a better look, they're already gone. It must be my imagination, I think to myself, as I proceed to the west wing of the mansion to join the other maids in cleaning the bedrooms. It seems the estate is bustling in preparation for something. Being a maid is not easy, mind you. Applebee's was a cakewalk compared to maintaining the sparkling shine of this half-acre of an estate. But better than having a higher salary is being recognized for your work. Mrs. Wellington has been nothing but magnanimous since day one, and I need all the dollars I can get since Tasha and Jasmine are still in college. As the eldest, there's nothing I wouldn't do for the family. I even stopped studying for my law degree at USC, a dream I gladly sacrificed for the sake of my sister's futures, knowing they would do the same for me. Wake the hell up, a high-pitched voice shouts from behind me as I'm changing the sheets. I scream from the shock and slap the person behind me. Ha! Ed screams, like that woman being murdered in her shower in Psycho. Ah! I scream from the shock of his scream. You'd never think such shrillness can be emitted by a man who's easily 6 foot in bare feet. Ed playfully slaps my arm. Dude, what you been doing laying your dirty hands on my magnificent face? Don't you be hating on my moneymaker. Jesus Christ, Ed, you shouldn't scare me like that. May I remind you, girlfriend, that I am your superior officer in the SS Titanic? Ed jokes. You do realize the Titanic sank? You do not talk to your superior officer that way, Ed yells at me. Then we both laugh at how silly we're acting. Ed continues, but seriously, don't be slacking off, girl. I do declare this day to be a suspicious day, he announces proudly. I think you mean auspicious day, I correct him. And that's why you're still a goddamn maid, Stacia, Ed playfully comments. No respect for authorita. But seriously, girl, you're too smart for this whole gig. Edmund? Mrs. Anna walks into the room suddenly. Without missing a beat, Ed faces her and bows down. His voice now in the smoothest baritone you might ever hear. Yes, madame? It never fails to surprise me how differently he acts whenever he transforms back into the role of Wellington Estate head butler. I don't think I need to remind you to make sure everything is perfect today, do I? This annual reunion is special because he will be returning. No, of course not. Oh, he will be returning? Ed raises his head as he asks, clearly in a state of surprise, a rare phenomenon whenever he's serious. After 5 years? Yes. Now let's make this the perfect home for the best lawyer in New York, shall we? Mrs. Wellington says, before walking out of the room. Who the hell is he? I ask curiously as soon as Mrs. Wellington is out of earshot. Oh my goodness gracious. Ed fans himself with his hand and says in his feminine voice, Stacia, you have not lived your life until you've met him. Oh Lord Jesus, thank you. I grab his collar and try to give him a little shove. To no avail, due to his size, I might add. Who? Prepare yourself, girl, because you about to meet the most venerable bachelor this side of America. None other than Mrs. Wellington's only son, Asher. Ed was not exaggerating.
Chapter 2. Asher. Yes, I did sleep with his best friend, cries Ashley, my gorgeous brunette, but dumb as a brick client being interrogated on the witness stand by Mark Owenberg, one of New York's scummiest lawyers. The crowd murmurs and the judge hammers his gavel. Order in the court! Your Honor, my client, Roger Anderson, is the real victim here, Mark explains. Not only did his wife cheat on him, which disqualifies her from getting half his estate, but he's also psychologically traumatized by having his kids see their parents fight like this in divorce court. Mark walks back to his table before mouthing the word "screw you" at me. Your witness, Asher, he taunts. I look at the judge, but his face says this is already an open and shut case. I'm in deep crap right now. My client, who filed for a divorce a week ago, just admitted to adultery, making any claim on her husband's estate moot due to their ironclad prenup. I have half a mind to scream at her for not telling me this beforehand, but no use crying over spilled milk. Everyone in the courtroom is staring at me. The judge, Ashley, Mark, the jury, even the hot stenographer with the shapely legs. They're all waiting for the best lawyer in New York to reveal an ace up his sleeve. Only this time, I don't think I have any. Only this glittery purse Ashley left on the table. I sigh aloud and mindlessly grab her bag. I don't know why, but my gut instinct told me to. And the only time my gut ever failed me was when I tried to outdrink this German hottie I slept with during Oktoberfest. Mr. Wellington, the judge asks, will you be questioning the witness? I look at him with a smile and nod, all while continuing to search the bag. Oddly enough, I find something intriguing inside Ashley's wallet. I find her driver's license particularly interesting, and then it hits me. The ace in the sleeve, or case, as the situation calls for it. I quickly stand up and walk toward Ashley with my secret weapon. Ashley, can you tell me what this is? Is that my driver's license? I nod. Let it be shown I'm holding Ashley Anderson's driver's license, I declare to everyone in the audience. Now, can you tell everyone in court what I'm pointing at? You're pointing at the validity date. And what year is it? 2016. Aha! I shout and pause for dramatic effect. The courtroom is quiet. Well, the judge finally asks, breaking the silence. I continue to question Ashley. What year did you and Roger get hitched? 2016. It was a crazy night in Vegas. 2016, I shout again. Miss Stenographer, please reread what year Ashley was born. The stenographer reads back the long strand of paper. 2000. Mark curses. Damn. That's right, Marky boy. Your Honor, Ashley Anderson, faked her age in her marriage license, and was only 16 years old at the date of marriage. She was a minor, which makes all the contracts she signed null and void. Holy cow, the judge reacts. An hour in a press conference later, I'm popping champagne in my business class seat, celebrating another win and continuing my perfect record. But, you may ask, why am I not celebrating my $1.5 million legal fee and humping the living daylights out of Ashley in a Four Seasons hotel? It's because I miss home. I look at the clouds outside the plane window. I can't believe it's been 5 years. I'm no longer the boy I was back then, but some things about me never changed, like how I miss my parents, even though they practically live in the California countryside. Don't get me wrong, I love witnessing Mark's futile attempts to beat me, but you know what they say. There's no place like home. Before I know it, I'm back at the old Wellington estate, jet-lagged and exhausted. But I dare not make my mother worry. I make an effort to plaster my best smile and confident stride as I enter the halls of my childhood home. Welcome, my boy, my father shouts from the top of the stairs. Is it him? I hear my mother's ecstatic voice from behind my father. Sure enough, she comes rushing down the stairs, almost in tears, before hugging me tightly. Oh, look how skinny you've gotten. We need to put some more meat into your bones, my mother comments. You must be breaking a lot of hearts back in the Big Apple. Only my own heart, Mom. Hi, Dad. I missed you guys. I greet them heartily. Shush, my father says. Edmund, take care of my son's luggage, please. Yes, sir, a deep baritone says from behind me. I immediately dash away from the sound, but laugh when I finally see the face behind the voice. Jesus Christ, Ed, what's up, man? I say as I hug him. He seems to tense suddenly, but relaxes when I let go. Everything is going great, sir. Excuse me as I take your luggage to your room. And with that, he's gone. Now, who's hungry? My mom asks out loud. The long dinner table is filled with exotic delectables and expensive meats. Aside from the food, this is what I've always missed. Family. But as I continue to eat, I notice Mother favoring one particular maid. She always asks her to pour her water, a sign of great trust and confidence. Well, 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 my mom says. Looks like someone needs a maid in his life right now. No, Mother. I don't. I'm a grown man, I remind her. You might say that, but your eyes say otherwise, Mother states slyly. Anyway, Stacia, please meet my beloved son, Asher. Good day, sir, Stacia says nervously as she makes a bow. Stacia here is the best of the best maids this side of the country, son. I'll make sure she takes care of you, promises Mom. She looks decent enough. She has a pretty face and is courteous. But growing up as I have with help around, I've become so used to them, I'm easily bored with their presence. However, something tells me this Stacia woman might be more intriguing than the ones who've come before.
Chapter 3. Stacia. Stacia, I trust you can attend to my son's needs properly, Anna says after taking a sip of her water. I don't know what to make of this recent development. It's not like I can say no to Anna, of all people. Not that I want to. I mean, just look at him. He's like Captain America come to life, only in a power suit. I've always admired this man, even without first-hand knowledge of his gloriously good looks. Despite being a huge fan of his exploits in the legal world, I never once tried to see what the man looked like. But if the stunning genes from the Wellington couple were anything to go by, I should have expected their son would look like God's gift to mankind. It was Ed who shed some light on his looks, and so I had some inkling and wasn't completely bowled over when I saw him in person. Now, when faced with such perfection, it isn't so far-fetched to contemplate I'd end up falling hopelessly in love with him, especially if I were to work with him in such proximity, as Anna suggests. And that would be a problem. Speaking of Anna, her eyes are trained on me expectantly. I clear my throat awkwardly at having been caught engrossed with my thoughts. Of course, Anna, you won't be disappointed, I finally reply, my practiced smile in place despite my misgivings. You see that, darling? Stacia's going to be exactly what you need. Anna directs to her son, who looks like he's long given up the argument with his mother. Let it be known that, best lawyer of New York or not, Asher Wellington still holds the opinions of his mother in high regard. I try to hold back a giggle at the adorable thought of Asher being a glorified mama's boy. Yes, mother, he replies nonchalantly. Even though I'm perfectly capable of catering to my own needs, I don't see anything wrong with giving your favorite maid a chance, he adds, directing a disarmingly gorgeous smile and wink my way. My heart rate spikes. Why does he have to look so goddamn perfect? My thoughts drift to what he'd look like underneath that form-fitting power suit of his. I immediately take hold of those thoughts and lock them inside my do not open unless you're alone box. I look forward to being in your care then, Stacia. He nods his head in acknowledgement. Likewise, sir. I'll do my best, I tell him, my lips curling into a well-practiced demure smile. He chuckles. Please refrain from calling me sir. It doesn't sit well with me. Call me Asher, all right? I nod and smile. All right, Asher. Oh, saying his name makes my stomach flutter. This is wonderful, Anna exclaims. I just love it when a plan comes together. She smiles warmly at the two of us. Well, at least Anna's happy. I owe her family so much, and I don't want to disappoint her. Dinner proceeds with jovial laughter, resounding from the family around the table. I've never seen Mr. Wellington smile like that before. I can tell he favors his son just as much as Anna does. Sometimes, the men's conversation would drift to the current economy and some political hot topics. I listen with rapt attention, truly awed by Asher's compelling arguments. It makes me wish I can join them in their spirited debates. But, alas, I know it's not my place. My sisters wouldn't appreciate that attitude. But this is about being a maid at work, not about. I miss the adrenaline that comes when engaged in a good debate. I was captain of my debate team back in high school, and I even led us to the state championships. I was that good. Unfortunately, the lack of money presented a minor setback to my education. But that's all right. For what kind of older sister would I be if I didn't put the needs of my sisters before my own? My parents are old, and they deserve a breather from having to put all three of us through school. Oh, Stacia, dear, would you be so kind as to bring us a bottle of red wine? I'm in the mood to celebrate now that our son is home, Anna says, snapping me out of my internal musings. With a slight bow to my head, I quickly comply. It shall be done, madame. Anna giggles at my formality. Oh, stop it, Stacia. You're practically family already. You don't have to be so formal when it's just us around. I grin playfully at her. That would not do at all, madame. Anna sighs. Very well, if you insist, she says dramatically, giving me a secret wink. I head for the wine cellar and peruse their collection. I wonder what they would like. Anna didn't specify. I just grab one of the bottles and turn to walk back upstairs when my body collides with someone. Ed, you've got to stop doing that, I shout in exasperation as I nearly drop the expensive-looking bottle of red wine. He just rolls his eyes at me, his hip cocked to one side and his hand placed daintily on his hip. Well, what did I tell you? The picture I showed you doesn't do the man justice, right? he asks excitedly. I giggle. He's a real beefcake, Ed. He claps his hands excitedly. I know, right? That boy's got me singing praises to the Lord every night. And he hugged me, he shouts with giddy glee. I laugh at my very gay friend's enthusiasm. Yes, Ed, lucky you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I can't keep them waiting for long, I say, rushing back upstairs. I uncork the wine in the kitchen and pour all of them a glass. After a few drinks, they're ready to call it a night. I'm helping clean up the table when I hear the distinct sexy as sin voice of Asher calling my name. I turn toward him and ask how I may be of service. Meet me in my home office once you're done, he says before leaving. I finish my work in a hurry and knock on Asher's office door a moment later. Come in, he bellows. I enter, bowing my head as a formality. Well, why don't you introduce yourself to me properly this time? He states in a businesslike voice. What is this, a job interview? I nod and decide to humor him. What the master wants, the master gets. This is going to be interesting.
Chapter 4. Asher. That maid is easy on the eyes, that's for sure. I survey her curvaceous figure while she helps clean the table. Mother has definitely done a good job cinching the waist on these standard maid's uniforms. It accentuates the female form in all the right places. Stacia! I call to get her attention. She turns toward me with a questioning look on her soft, feminine features. How may I be of service, Asher? Meet me in my home office once you're done, I tell her with authority. Before she has the chance to answer, I turn on my heel and leave. It's been a while since I last went there. What a nostalgic place it is. I smile wistfully as I remember all the late-night study sessions I had with my female friends here. Oh, those were good times indeed. I enter my office and am pleased with how everything remains clean and untouched. I sit on my desk, waiting for the maid to show up. A few minutes later, I hear a knock on my door. Come in, I shout. The maid, Stacia, enters, bowing her head in my presence. I look at her features closely, and I feel an inexplicable draw toward her. She's beautiful, that's for certain, but I've been with many women, all of them equally beautiful. There's just something about her I can't quite put my finger on. Well, why don't you introduce yourself to me properly this time? I ask in a no-nonsense tone. Most people would cower at my steely professionalism, yet this woman has an amused glint in her eyes. It greatly intrigues me. I called her here so I can assure her there will be no need for her to follow me around just to cater to my every whim. I'm no longer the young man from before who depended on servants to do my bidding. I'd like to think I've become more mature during the time I stayed away from my family in pursuit of my career. Well, my name is Stacia Keys, Asher. I'm 28 years old, and I've been working for your family for 2 years now, she starts. It's very nice to officially make your acquaintance, and I look forward to working for you during the duration of your stay, she finishes with another bow. Always so formal, but I must admit, it's hot as hell when she's submissive like that. I've never had that kind of fetish, but this woman seems to bring it out of me. Please sit. I offer her the seat in front of my desk. I peruse her appearance, looking for any sign of deceit or malicious intent. As a lawyer, I've gotten quite skilled at reading people. I can spot the fakes from the genuine with just a bit of conversation. Call me paranoid, but having some unknown woman, despite her stunning features, getting close to my mother is enough to flare my protective side. What if she has unfavorable intentions toward her? I can't just sit by and do nothing. Logically speaking, I simply must get to know her. And, of course, the maid's attractive belief has nothing to do with it, my subconscious says mockingly. Tell me about your educational background, I continue in a formal manner. Well, I graduated top of my class at Beverly Hills High School. I was captain of the debate team and was a state champion during my term. I was also student body president. She lists her achievements like they aren't a big deal. So, she's smart. I like that in a woman. I was right to think there was something different about her. It's probably the intelligence lingering beneath the surface of her eyes. I didn't finish college, though, she hastily adds with a shrug. My brows shoot up in disbelief. What a waste of potential. Why not? I probe. She looks away from my gaze. It's a family matter, I'm afraid. I nod, deciding not to press. Why did you choose to work for our family? I try a different question. I like them. They're very kind. They aren't stuck up like all the other rich folks. Besides, they pay me well. There's nothing to complain about, she answers, a warm smile on her face. I nod, accepting her answer. So far, so good. She seems to be genuine, and she answers me while maintaining eye contact. I appreciate that. It shows strength of character. Most people shy away or even cringe once I start grilling them in my lawyerly tone. She looks so innocent. I thought she was just another timid mouse, but I can admit when I'm wrong. She's not that. There's a certain fire to her whenever she answers my questions. I question her some more and find nothing amiss. I'm starting to like her, and I pride myself on being a good judge of character. I do still want to know why she decided not to pursue her education any further, but I suppose I can always find that out later. All right, it's been a pleasure getting to know you better. I look forward to being in your care, I tell her, my suspicions of any untoward motives put to rest. Thank you, Asher, she says, flashing me a full smile. I can't help but stare. Her smile is enchanting. She is a vision. I clear my throat awkwardly as soon as I realize I've been staring for far too long. That will be all. I'll call you if I need anything. She bows one more time before taking her leave. My eyes follow her retreating figure, eyeing her goddess-like body unabashedly. Beauty and brains, this one, I murmur in the silence of my office. I changed my mind. I'll be putting her to work and to good use after all. My stay here just got a whole lot more interesting.
Chapter 5. Stacia. As the door of his office shuts behind me, I can't help but notice how different Asher is from his mother. It seems like Mrs. Wellington's warmth didn't rub off on him. He seems stern, suspicious, and always serious. Either way, I still like him. Maybe it's because of how highly Mrs. Wellington thinks of him. She always talks about him, always mentions him with awe, and admiration. You can't help but echo the same sentiment. Maybe that's why I can't find any reason not to like Asher. It could be subtle or unintentional brainwashing from Mrs. Wellington, since I'm always by her side. Regardless of the reason, I'm glad Asher agreed with his mother's request that I see to his needs. I casually walk a few feet away from Asher's office when I feel an arm pull me behind a corner. I turn to see who it is, and of course, I should have already known. Damn it, Ed! I told you to stop doing that. Sorry, you know I like to be dramatic. Ed laughs as I roll my eyes at him. So, how did it go? How did what go? I ask, confused. Well, you know. Ed puckers his lips up, pointing toward the direction of Asher's office. Of course he wants to know. I think it went well. Asher just asked me some basic questions. My name, how old I am, my educational background, and why I work here. Nothing to get excited about? I shrug. Ooh, Asher? You're already on a first-name basis? I didn't know you could work that fast, girl. Ed starts to tease. No. Nothing like that. He doesn't want to be addressed formally. He says it doesn't sit well with him or something like that. Ed's expression tells me he has something else in mind, but I immediately dismiss it. Whatever it is you're thinking, the answer is no. He'll probably ask everyone to call him by his first name, too. I wasn't thinking anything. Besides, even if I was, you thought the same thing. Otherwise, you won't be so defensive about it. Ed continues to tease. But anyway, I was asked to tell you to clean Mr. Wellington / Asher / the hottest lawyer to ever exist on this planet S room and study. Who knows? He might ask you to cuddle with him. Or maybe something even better, if you know what I mean. His eyebrows waggle, continuing to tease. Stop it, Ed. Someone might hear you. He laughs as I lightly slap his arm. Have fun. Ed winks as he walks away to attend to his other tasks. I take a deep breath as I stop in front of Asher's room. I don't bother to knock, assuming he's still in his office. I slowly swing the door open, and I guess I'm right since the room is empty. I start cleaning his room and turning down his quilt so he can get a good rest. A few minutes later, I hear someone come out of the bathroom, which makes me turn my attention toward that direction, since I didn't know anyone was in there when I came in. The next thing I see, Asher Wellington standing in front of me, clad in nothing but a towel wrapped around his waist. I immediately look away in complete surprise, and I'm left speechless from what I just saw. Ed's words start playing back in my head. I feel like I'm on fire, and my heart is racing like crazy. I only saw Asher's body for a second, but my God, the man's muscles and tight abs are already imprinted in my brain. I just cannot unsee it. When did he even get in here? This is all Ed's fault. Damn it, Ed.
Chapter 6. Asher. I sit back further into my chair as a smirk appears on my face. I didn't think I would end up this curious and interested about Stacia. I guess the saying, "Don't judge a book by its cover," will always have some truth in it. I let out a sigh as I look around my office. Not much has changed. It's like I never even left. I guess my mother knew I wouldn't want my stuff to be moved around without my consent. I stay in my office for a few more minutes before I decide to go to my bedroom. As I walk out to the hall, I spot Stacia talking to Ed in loud whispers. For some reason, a smile creeps into my face at the sight. I continue to walk back to my bedroom so I can finally relax and call it a night. It's been a long day of traveling and mingling. I just want to get some rest right now. I enter the bedroom and nostalgia hits me immediately for the second time that night. I realize how much I've missed home. I mean, don't get me wrong, I live in a nice place in the city, but nothing beats coming to your family home filled with childhood memories. I guess it's not really the bedroom or the office I miss, but the people. I chuckle because of how sentimental I've suddenly become. I shake off my thoughts and walk to where my things have been placed. I grab my suitcase and place it on top of the sofa across the bed and start preparing the clothes I'll be wearing to sleep. I place the suitcase back down and head to the bathroom. I place my sleeping clothes on one of the racks and start running the water first to get it to the temperature I want before undressing and hopping in the shower. I feel instant relief as the hot water hits my back and runs to the floor. And it's been a while since I've had the luxury of enjoying a nice long shower without stressing over anything related to work. This feels so nice. I've always been buried with work. I almost thought I'd forgotten how to relax. But tonight, I'm going to allow myself to rest and not think about anything. I stay in the shower for about 15 minutes, just soaking in the feeling of relaxation. When I see my toes getting wrinkly from being under the water for too long, I shut the shower off and grab the towel to dry myself up. I wrap it around my waist and head for the bathroom door. In the back of my mind, I know my clothes are with me, but for some reason I'm not aware of, my feet just start walking to the bedroom. I guess all that relaxing lifted my brain to the heavens, causing me to move without thinking. When I enter, I see Stacia kneeling on the bed as she attempts to put on a new set of sheets. She briefly looks at me with surprise and immediately goes back to what she's doing. I'm still unclear on the specifics of her role as my attendant, or whatever you want to call it. But I do know she'll be working in my bedroom often. The expression in her face before she looked away is stuck in my head. It might be because of her eyes. I just can't forget the look of purity in those dark eyes of hers. Stacia, you don't have to do that, you know. I think I can manage that area, I say. I can take care of the bed myself when I go to sleep. It's okay, Asher. I'm used to working in bed. I'm used to fixing beds. Stacia stammers, avoiding my gaze. It's obvious to me she's surprised to see me in this manner. For the first time in a long while, I'm sensing some awkwardness in the room. The feeling is foreign to me. Normally, the word awkward doesn't exist in my vocabulary. Stacia continues to fix the bed, but somehow her speed has increased by 1,000. It's obvious to me she just wants to get out of the bedroom. I'm honestly amused and entertained by the way she's acting right now. She almost jumps off bed when she's done. She collects the cleaning equipment she used. Even though she's trying to play it cool, I notice how rushed she seems to be. She drops something on the floor, and somehow I can't bring myself to look away as she bends over. I would be lying if I say I don't find Stacia attractive, because I do. A lot. But to be honest, I don't understand why. As she picks up what fell on the floor, I'm able to accidentally peek at her behind. I know I should avert my gaze, but something compels me to look on. If you want to know where this naughty scene is headed, you'll have to get it from BWWM.com. This platform has rules and guidelines that we have to follow in order to keep these free stories coming. Find any Vixa audiobook on our website and use code VIXA40 for a 40% discount to make up for these interruptions. Let's return to the story.
I hope you're enjoying this audiobook by Vixa Vaughn. If you want to keep hearing more audiobooks, then please hit that subscribe button and like the video. It may seem insignificant, but the more people that subscribe, the easier it is to produce more audiobooks in the future. So please, help us out and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening, and now back to your book.
Chapter 7. Stacia. Pretend you see nothing. I instruct myself in my head. Quit fumbling around and finish what you've come here for. This is a first for me. I don't know what to do. Really? Weirdly enough, a part of me likes it. I like that Asher stared at me. Luckily, my back had been turned toward him, so he couldn't see the flush in my cheeks. I breathe a sigh of relief when he returns to the shower, and I hurry to finish tidying up so I can leave the room before he returns. I'm putting away his luggage after placing his clothes and other belongings in drawers when he comes back inside the room. I stare fixedly at my task, even though his stare is practically scorching a hole in my person. I pretend I'm checking his desk for anything to clean up. It's a pretty good tactic for me to see what he's doing through my periphery. He's still staring. I feel a rush of power when I realize I affect him in the same way he does me. Hardly believing my own daring, I decide to test my theory. I stretch a little, brush my hair back with my hand, and massage my neck. I bite my lip for good measure. True enough, his eyes zero in on my teeth biting my lower lip. Okay, what has come over me? I'm definitely losing it. I need to get out now. Just be cool, I whisper to myself again, as though I need prodding to move my feet and leave the room. My knees are shaking, but I do my best to maintain my upright posture. Just be cool, I whisper once more, hoping my present sanity will overpower my loins and the heat rising to my chest and up my cheeks. What's that? Asher's voice breaks the silence. My eyes widen at the horrible realization he could have heard what I just said, and I thank the Lord my back is still turned toward him, and he doesn't see. What's what? Sorry? I stammer in contrived innocence. Get it together, Stacia. You said something like cool? He prods. Yeah, I did, I reply in panic. I said your room is quite cool. I roll my eyes. Really? That's the best I can come up with? Oh, right. I'm done now, I say. If everything is all right with you, I'll head back to the maid's quarters. Have a pleasant night. I manage to say all that in one go and hurriedly walk out of his room, barely waiting for him to nod. Geez, Has it really been that long since I've had an encounter with a man? Damn, I have no game at all. Fortunately, tomorrow's my day off, and I have a little breather from the Wellingtons, specifically Asher and his smoldering charm. Even though I do need to head to the restaurant for work. As I almost stumble into the helper's quarters, I see Ed with one of his eyebrows raised. "Good God, Stacia. What's got you all in a tizzy?" he asks with a sly smile. "It's nothing like what you're probably thinking," I reply in defense and laugh. The next day comes, and I'm at the restaurant setting up shop, as they say. This is my second job I go to on my days off, wiping dishes dry, making sure the floor is swept clean. Just a day at work without him, without Asher. I busy myself as a distraction, so I stop my thoughts wandering to him, which doesn't really work, but boy, did I get a lot done. The stoves in the restaurant's kitchen are fired up as we prepare for our morning customers. A quick round of instructions from the head chef can be heard up front. People start moving about. Work has officially begun. Amidst the beautiful morning chaos, I hear a voice at the entrance. "Can I get a menu, please?" asks a customer as the doors swing open. I almost drop the plate I'm wiping. Of course it's him. Of all days, of all places. With my rotten luck, what else did I expect? "Asher, hi," I reply after gathering my senses. I find myself tucking a strand of hair self-consciously behind my ear. What in the world am I doing? He gives me a little wave as I watch him walk to one of the tables close to the window. He's sitting there, serene and quiet, his eyes staring into space almost. After a few seconds, he beckons to me and smiles. I walk over to hand him the menu. He takes his time perusing it while I wait. After some time, he puts it down on the table and seems to hesitate before asking, "Why are you here, Stacia? Isn't today your day off?" I'm a little taken aback by his straightforward question and am about to give a flippant response. But something in his eyes makes me realize he won't accept anything but the truth. Actually, to be honest, I take a deep breath before admitting. I'm working 2 jobs to help pay the bills at home. My sisters are at university, and even though that they have partial scholarships, it's not enough to cover other expenses. "Doesn't my mom pay you enough to make a dent?" he asks curiously. "Oh yes, she is. Please don't tell her about this. I didn't tell her because I don't want her to feel bad for me. I don't want charity." There's a serious look on his face as he contemplates my answer. "Anyway, why don't I get you a drink while you wait? Would you like some coffee? Tea, perhaps?" I ask. He says, "Coffee, please." I head to the counter to grab him a cup when I see him approach my manager. Oh, crap. Am I about to lose my job for not treating him like a customer? "Stacia will have the day off," I hear him say. "Don't worry, everyone will receive double their pay." And that's that. It's done. I get the day off because this wealthy lawyer tells my boss so, and the money is too big for him to turn away. Why is Asher doing this? What's his MO, I can't help but wonder. I'm confused and flustered. He's now standing in front of me, just inches away. His manly scent invades my thoughts, bewildering me even further. "Go home and get some rest, Stacia," he finally says. "You deserve it."
Chapter 8. Asher. I've forgotten how boring it is to be in a mansion this large. It's a good thing I have some work to do. It'll keep me occupied for a bit. The library, too. One of the many rooms here I actually like. And now her. She's keeping me occupied. At least, that's true of my thoughts. Her soft brown skin, which almost glows like molten chocolate when the sun hits it. Her eyes speak so much without her lips uttering a word. Why couldn't I have said anything better at the restaurant? Why'd I go in hot like that? I immediately came in with both guns blazing, and asked about her salary. No small talk, no preamble, no nothing. Part of me felt I was out of line, but she didn't grumble about my questions. She was amazingly forthright to my surprise. I must admit that though her revelation surprised me, it felt good that she trusted me enough to share her troubles. Of course, the situation is not ideal. It can only do her more harm than good in the long run, juggling 2 jobs the way she's doing. But perversely, I'm still flattered. Sue me. I put on a navy cardigan over my white t-shirt, pulling on khaki-colored pants and a pair of mahogany-hued loafers. I walk aimlessly around the house before I decide to check the maids' and butlers' schedules. Of course, the only schedule I care about is hers. I look for her name on today's list. Stacia. With my index finger, I trace it down the column to her name. She has 2 days off, Tuesdays and Fridays. Before I know it, the morning's gone and it's lunchtime. I'm not feeling particularly hungry. Stomach empty, mind full. Full of Stacia, that is. But it might do me some good to have a bite to eat first. There's beef wagyu on the table and some other items I don't really pay attention to. I grab a couple of biscuits and munch on them, distracted. Then I move towards the staff area. "Has anyone seen Stacia?" I ask, after finishing the biscuit and wiping the remaining flecks off my hands with a napkin. "She's at the library, sir," someone says. "Thank you," I say before walking away. The library is in another wing of the house. It's a real bona fide one, not just a few bookshelves. It boasts an extensive list of books arranged row upon row upon row. It's a bibliophile's dream. It's how I became one myself. The moment I step a foot in, there she is, sitting on one of the couches. Her legs are crossed while she's hunched over a book, a very serious expression on her face. It's quite cute. Ahem. I pretentiously clear my throat and inch closer to where she is, a mere few feet away. I walk slowly, as though I'm afraid to distract her. Then again, I do want to distract her from what she's reading and get her to talk to me. Selfish bastard, I tell myself, still inching my way to Stacia. Maybe this isn't such a good idea after all. I don't know why I'm doing this, much less giving in to the insanity of it all. She still doesn't notice my presence. Instead, she pulls her face closer to what she's reading and crinkles her nose, like she's trying very hard to understand something. Damn it. How is she this cute? I could just... Such thoughts are insane. I know I shouldn't even be entertaining them in the first place. She pulls back from that hunched position and straightens up. Her arms stretch upward and she twists her upper body to the left and then to the right. After a few seconds, she pours herself back into the book. She could have easily read these books online, but she chose not to. It tells me she's a little old-fashioned. But I guess that's another part of her charm. Old school. Natural. And maybe, in a sense, pure. I know I must look absurd peering at her behind pillars and observing her from a distance. I'm not a stalker, even though I'm enjoying my full view of her. Sitting there, wearing her tight t-shirt, her top showcases the fullness of her breasts. Calm down, dude. My mind puts me and my big D in a less stiff mode, or it tries to. I heave a sigh and think about the piles of paperwork I've yet to complete. Just like that, I'm back to normal. For the time being. I mean, I'm still so close to Stacia. I'm still fixated on here. My eyes can't help but scan her figure all over. Still unaware of the person who's joined her in the room, she lifts her right hand to scratch her head and almost pulls her hair, like she's frustrated about something she's reading. I stifle a laugh at the sight. Gorgeous and adorable. That's Stacia. I take this as my cue to finally step in view. Finding that book interesting? I interrupt her and stand right across her. She's startled for a second, looking up at me wide-eyed. She hadn't even felt my presence. After giggling at her own reaction, she starts to explain. I'm trying my best to listen to every word, but it's difficult. What with her bright, smiling eyes slowly melting me to pieces.
Chapter 9. Stacia. Finding that book interesting? Asher asks me suddenly, interrupting my musings. I sit up in surprise. I turn to answer him, but his deep green eyes take me back, and his navy blue jacket fits snugly around his well-formed body. He reminds me of all the heroes in those romance novels I used to read from my mother's room when I was a little girl. It's funny to think that a few decades later, I'd be standing in front of one of them. I giggle from the thought and from my reaction. Asher, you surprised me. This? Why, yes, I'm quite fond of this book. I gloss over the old, yet the gorgeous hardbound cover of Angela Brentwood's bestseller, The Governess's Tale. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this is a first edition, I comment. Funny, you should mention that, Asher replies. Turn to the last page. I stare at him, confused at first, but decide to humor him and skip to the last page. Just behind the cover, I find an elegantly handwritten note. To Ashton, for all your misconstrued and outrageous claims on how this novel would significantly affect American society, you win. You were right. I would never have gotten this far without your kind words of encouragement. May you always keep this near your heart, just as much I have kept you near mine. Angie. Oh my, is this what I think it is? I say as I almost drop the book from the shock of the revelation. Asher laughs at my reaction. Dad was quite the Casanova in his day. It would seem even the great Angela Brentwood couldn't help but fall for his charms. Kinda cool. Although it's not something an 11-year-old me could comprehend, nor a 16-year-old me would ever want to imagine. I nod. To think that one of the most progressive writers of the 20th century would ever write something like this. She basically ignited the feminist movement. Is that why you're reading it? Are you a feminist, Stacia? Asher asks suddenly. That's only a minuscule part of it. I answer as confidently as I can, trying not to falter against Asher's intimidating veneer. I find it interesting that a work of fiction like this is in one of the most hallowed private libraries on the planet. Why do you think it's here, Stacia? Asher asks again curiously. I can't help but feel as if he's testing me or something. I didn't have a clue at first. But then the last page tells me maybe it's just memorabilia, a spoil of war from one of the women he's ever conquered. Asher appears amused at my explanation. As a big smile cracks from his handsome face, I continue. But reading the story now, I can't help but notice this novel is really a cautionary tale. Asher's face lights up. How so? Well, this was written in the early 70s. It warns of a dystopian world, which replaces the Constitution in favor of a Christian theocracy that brings women's rights back to the Dark Ages. Women are treated as baby factories and weren't allowed to vote or have basic education. But it doesn't feel outdated at all. Asher walks and decides to sit beside me. His cologne is assailing my senses. Trying to keep my composure, I continue. It feels like the current trend of laws still live in the same paradigm. There's not a lot of legislation being drafted that caters to issues specifically pertaining to women, such as the wage gap or even the pro-choice movement. I can't help but feel we're all still heading for the dreaded dystopian future in this novel. I stop as soon as I notice him staring. I must sound like I'm lecturing. Oh, please forgive my rudeness, Asher. I quickly stand up and return the book to the bookcase. I shall return to my duties. But before I can leave, Asher grabs my hand. Wait, Stacia. Forgive me for staring earlier. I was just trying to comprehend how a simple maid was able to answer with such depth and brevity. You're absolutely right. A lot of cases I've taken on still involve, more or less, women who have been mistreated in one form or another. It's refreshing to talk to someone about how the law is being interpreted nowadays, rather than what they've memorized from the Constitution. I feel my eyes dart away from Asher. I feel my cheeks become hot. Why, thank you, Asher. Asher grabs my shoulder and lifts my chin. He gazes into his eyes as I gaze into his as well. It's my pleasure, Stacia. I bow. Thank you, Asher. We stare at each other for the longest time before we notice we're holding each other's hands. I quickly step away and pull my hand back before anyone can see us. Looks like this is going to be the start of a beautiful friendship, Asher comments. It would seem so, I reply before I head for the door. But once again, Asher stops me. To commemorate this important occasion, may I invite you to our class reunion this Friday? I have a +1. You'll probably hate it as much as I will, but I'm pretty sure your presence there will make the evening more exciting. In my mind, I'm already screaming no. There's no reason someone like me should be seen with someone like Asher, especially when it's a party filled with his peers. But as I continue to gaze into his megawatt smile, I'm compelled to say, I'd love to.
Chapter 10. Asher. I'd love to. Stacia smiles as she answers. I feel my heart flutter as those sweet words emanate from her gorgeous lips. But her smile quickly fades as she continues. But wouldn't it be strange for you to bring someone to one of your parties, Asher? I'm just a nobody, and even worse, I work as... Are you kidding me? I interrupt. I'd trade almost all the women I've met if I'd met you earlier in my life, Stacia. Most of them were glorified, humanized plastic dolls. I've been let down by a lot of them in my time, and none of them hold a candle to you, Stacia. I pause as I realize what I just said. I'd slap myself right now for being too aggressive and open to a girl I just met if it doesn't embarrass me any further. But luckily for me, Stacia appears amused by my answer. Her smile is absolute dynamite. I can stand in this room all day, staring at her gorgeous smile. Asher, she says, forgive my brashness. I quickly try to salvage the conversation, but everything I said is the truth, and nothing but the truth, milady. I take her hand and envelop it with mine. Besides, I asked you to come with me because I'm sure I won't be bored if you're there. Oh, Stacia replies thoughtfully. I enjoy myself being around you because you remind me of my younger self. It's as if you actually studied law, I comment. Thank you. It's because I actually did, Stacia answers surprisingly. Really? That's impressive, but then why are you here cleaning old mansions? You could earn money in so many other ways, ways that can still allow you to indulge in your love for the law, I point out. At the time, it's what was easy and available, Stacia answers. And to be honest, your mom pays more than any position at a law firm. I needed to earn money in the quickest way possible since my sister's school fees were almost due. I chose whatever was more convenient. Not only is she drop-dead gorgeous, smart, and sophisticated, but she has a heart of gold to match. Where did my mother even find someone like Stacia to work for her? And how can she continue to waste Stasia's talents by allowing her to work in this house? But no matter. I think I can talk my grandfather into allowing Stacia's sisters to apply into the Wellingtons scholarship program. At least that'll make things easier for Stacia. Hell, if I can have him talk to Stacia, I can probably convince him to give her a scholarship too. Harvard will love her for sure. I shouldn't get too ahead of myself. She needs to agree to my suggestion first. That's quite noble of you, Stacia, I reply. Now I'd want nothing else than for you to go with me to the reunion. You're not going to let this go, are you? Not unless you kill me and walk over my cold, stiff corpse, I joke while clutching her hand. Stacia sighs in exasperation. I think I'm finally getting through to her. But what would I even wear? She asks as she looks at her uniform. I have nothing besides this, shirts and jeans, and I doubt the event is that casual. I laugh. You're right, but don't worry, I have just the solution in the guy. I quickly grab my phone and dial. Asher? A young man with a heavy French accent answers. Yep. Hey, listen, I'm ready to call in my marker. Oui? Perfect. Got an emergency wedding to attend? A funeral? Tell me what it is, and I'll have it ready for you in 24 hours, my friend. It's not for me, I reply. It's for this friend of mine, a woman. We need a dress for her so she can come with me to my class reunion. Say no more, just send me a picture of her and I will handle the rest. Thanks. Who was that? Stacia asks when I put down the phone. Ah, just this dependable friend of mine. Maybe you've heard of him? Francis Marquois. The French designer headlining Milan's fashion show this year? That Marquois? Stacia practically shouts as she asks. Yes, that guy. I helped him sue this hairdresser who abused his poodle at a birthday party one time. You know how the French are with their dogs. That dog especially is like his baby. I can't believe it, Stacia reacts. I know, that's what everyone says when I tell them the story, too. No. I mean that you can just call up one of the rising stars of the fashion world and ask him to make a dress, says Stacia. Well, he does owe me one. Besides, he's been bored out of his mind lately. I'm sure he'll love designing a dress for you. Can you just stand there for a minute? I quickly take a picture of Stacia and send it to Francis. That's it? Stacia asks. That's it. That's all Francis needs. The dress is as good as done. Now, is there anything else you need, mademoiselle? I jokingly bow in front of her. Asher, don't do that! You shouldn't be bowing to a maid! Stacia scolds. I smile, holding her hand and gazing deeply into her eyes. That's because I'm not bowing to my maid. I'm bowing to my date. Stacia laughs and looks away. I'm going to get into so much trouble for this. She pulls her hand away, walks past me, and heads out the door. Before she leaves the room, she stops. If you're so determined I come, then I'll go. But only because I serve your family. Okay? I can accept that. Good. And, Asher? Yes? Thank you, Stacia says before finally leaving. This isn't going to be a boring reunion after all.
Chapter 11. Stacia. There's just something magical about the feel of leather-bound books, the smell of old paper, and the sound of pages being turned. If it isn't already obvious, I'm a major bookworm. I always have been. Once I start reading, I'm bound by duty to see things through to the very last page, no matter how much I dislike the plot. Suffice to say, the last few days with Asher have been like a dream. I was worried at first, skeptical even. But as it turns out, other than our disparate social standings, the two of us are a match made in heaven. And no, before anyone gets the crazy idea we're together, I'd just like to clarify we're not a couple. I simply mean we work harmoniously together. For the past couple of days, we've managed to form a routine. I'd finish all my chores around the house before he wakes or asks for me, after which I join him in either the library or his home office. And no, we aren't doing anything indecent together, no matter how much my imagination seems to conjure such lurid thoughts in the safety of my bedroom. He just simply reads the case files he needs to review for court, while I, the bookworm, would grab any book that strikes my fancy and start reading beside him. We sometimes talk in between scrolling through documents about pretty much anything that comes to mind. At first, I worried I might get in the way of his research, but he insists I stay with him, stating that he likes my company. Needless to say, my heart just about exploded at that statement. Now, normally, my eyes would stay fixated on the book I have at hand. Yet, my eyes sometimes wander to the glorious male specimen that is my boss. His lithe form sits sexily on his office chair, mulling over some documents. His face, the very definition of concentration. Even the sunlight, as it filters through the window, hits his hair at just the right angle to make his blonde hair glow like a Norse god's, driving me further into distraction. I bite my lower lip as my eyes get their daily dose of Asher. Oh, I did not just think that. My thoroughly educated brain chastises. I can't help it. The man, in all his glorious splendor, brings out the savage woman in me. You know, I can feel you staring at me from over there, he comments, his voice laced with amusement. Uh-oh, busted. How are you going to explain this one, Stacia? I don't know what you're talking about, I lie through my teeth. He looks up from his document and meets my gaze with his. Dark green eyes stare at mine with what looks to be fondness. I try not to read too much into it. I might just be imagining things. He raises a perfectly sculpted eyebrow. Really? He challenges. Really? I reply, shrugging my shoulders before looking away, thoroughly embarrassed. I try to focus more on my book. Will the wonders of Jane Austen never cease? I've read all her books before I even finished high school, but they never get old. Oh, come on, Stacia. You can admit it. It's just you and me in this room, he goads, bringing my attention back to him. My stomach feels like I just swallowed 1,000 butterflies. Is it getting hot in here? Or is it just me? Okay, fine, I admit. I did it. I killed that man, Your Honor, I joke. He laughs, his shoulders shaking with mirth. You're an odd one, Stacia. Don't ever change. I breathe out a sigh of relief. I, at least, managed to distract him. Crisis averted. He wipes away the errant tears caused by excessive laughter off his eyes and clears his throat. By the way, there's something I've been meaning to bring up with you. I look at him curiously. What is it, Asher? It's about your sisters, actually. How would you like it if I talked to grandfather and offer them scholarships for college? He asks. My mouth hangs open in shock. Are you serious? I ask incredulously. He nods his head, his face portraying just how serious he truly is. Yes, of course. Why would I even joke about something like that? I squeal in utter delight, jumping around at this wonderful, thoroughly unexpected chance. He chuckles. I take it as a yes, then? Mind you, it's just a chance. They'll have to do the rest themselves. Yes, I exclaim. Then I stop and look at him seriously. But I want you to evaluate them fairly if they meet the criteria for such an opportunity. Their grades are top-notch, but sometimes committees look for other things. All the same, I don't want anyone to say this was just handed to my sisters on a silver platter. He nods. I admire the strength of your moral character. As you wish. Thank you so much for this, Asher. You won't be disappointed with my sisters. I look at my watch for about the umpteenth time tonight. I'm so excited. Tonight is the night of Asher's reunion. He said he'll be coming to pick me up. His friend came through with a beautiful sequined evening gown, which arrived just yesterday. The material is so soft and feels wonderful against my skin. Fits me like a glove, too. I can't believe he got the correct size all based on a picture. As I scan my appearance on the full-length mirror, it feels like I'm looking at someone else. I've never felt so beautiful in all my life. I proceed down the stairs and my sisters gasp. You look gorgeous, Stacia, Jasmine says, looking odd. Yeah, I have to agree, sis, Tasha adds. I smile at their support. Thank you. There's a knock on the door and I hurry to open it. Right there, standing by my front door, is Asher Sexy as Hell Wellington, looking dashing in a tuxedo. My mouth hangs open, and it seems his expression mirrors my own. I can't help but feel triumphant at shocking him dumb. You look beautiful, Stacia, he says, recovering quickly, a charming smile on his features. Sweet baby Jesus. Sis, is that your date? Jasmine exclaims excitedly behind me. Asher chuckles and introduces himself to my sisters like a gentleman, garnering flustered giggles from the two. He's my boss and he's just asking for a favor. I correct them. All they do is look at each other and giggle some more. I roll my eyes before flashing them a little smile. Asher then takes my hand in his, and boy does it feel so right. How am I supposed to not fall in love with him? I'm so screwed.
Chapter 12. Asher. I have never been so in awe of anyone's beauty before tonight. If I thought I'd seen beauty before, I've been blind. For this woman who stands before me is the personification of beauty herself. My mouth hangs open unconsciously, a reaction that's not easy to come by from the likes of a jaded man like myself. My eyes stay glued to every delicious curve emphasized by her dress. Thank you, Francis Marquois. You genius. You look beautiful, Stacia, I finally managed to say, thankful I didn't stumble over my words. With my, I believe, devilishly handsome smile in place, I gaze fondly at Stacia. I offer my hand to Stacia, which she hesitantly takes. The moment our hands touch, it feels like a spark passes between us. I don't know what that means, but I know I like it. I open the passenger seat and usher her inside. I lean down slowly, my body in proximity with hers. She gasps as the space between us gets smaller. Her eyes flutter closed, and it takes all my self-restraint not to kiss her. Her eyes open once she hears the click of her seatbelt. I pull away before I get any more ideas. She looks disappointed, but covers it up quickly with a smile. Oh, Stacia, how you tempt me. We arrive at the party and I can't be prouder. To have the most beautiful woman tucked in the crook of my elbow, garnering envious stares from my old classmates. I'm on top of the world. All eyes are literally on us as we make our grand entrance to the party. I see a lot of familiar faces. There are a lot of people waving frantically at me, although I must confess, I haven't got the foggiest idea who they are. To be fair, most people never end up looking like their high school selves. Asher, what up, bro? Dylan, one of my best friends back in high school, approaches me with a high five. I'm great, bro. I didn't expect you to attend, I tell him bluntly. Dylan is a very busy man. His family owns one of the biggest shipping lines in the whole country. His father groomed him for greatness from a very young age, and despite having been one of my best friends, it's been over a month since we last contacted each other. But you know what they say about true friends, distance means nothing when you connect again. I'm being sentimental, but it's true. Dylan snorts. You didn't think I'd miss the chance to hang out with you? I chuckle. I guess not. By the way, this is Stacia, my beautiful date for the night. I nudge my chin toward the gorgeous woman beside me. Dylan's eyes widen like a couple of saucers. It's probably because I haven't gone on a date in quite a long time. He knows I'm not above going stag, then attend an event with a woman who would bore me to death. Oh, you must be one special lady. I'm Dylan Maximoff. It's my pleasure to meet you, my lady, he says, kissing Stacia's hand lightly. Stacia giggles at Dylan's theatrics. Nice to meet you, Dylan. The three of us get into a conversation about the country's economy. We get so engrossed in the conversation, we don't notice how my classmates have already crowded over to us. Hey, Asher, who's your pretty friend? One of them, John, asks. I smile at the crowd and introduce Stacia to everyone. Before I know it, my female classmates have taken a real liking to her. They pull her away for some conversation of their own, while I get pulled over to the men. Where'd you meet such a fine chick, man? John asks, glancing over briefly at Stasia's direction. We work together, I immediately reply. It's not that I'm ashamed of Stacia, because that couldn't be further from the truth. I just don't want god-awful rumors to spread about her. I may be fine with her being our maid, but I'm sure there will be people here who won't. I'd rather save her grief and embarrassment. Nice, John says, lifting a glass of scotch to his lips. They don't make them like they used to anymore, but she's a knockout. I know, I'm lucky to have her, I reply honestly. Because really, Stacia is a far better conversationalist than any woman I've ever met. She's quite refreshing. I glance over at her direction to see if she's doing fine. My lips curve into a full-blown smile when I notice how Stacia's so relaxed with my female classmates. It's like she's already one of them, looking at home while engaged in conversation. You'd think she went to the same school. She's amazing. I've never known you to stare at any woman like that, Dylan comments subtly beside me. I shrug. I've never met any woman like her before. Dylan whistles. You've got it bad, bro. I chuckle. Can't I just like her company before you start spinning things out of proportion? Dylan simply laughs. Whatever you say, bro. Like a lovesick sap, I walk over to Stacia in a daze. The girls stop talking when they see me up close. Stacia looks at them quizzically and they giggle, pointing to my direction. She smiles upon seeing my face, and it takes my breath away. I offer her my hand, bowing slightly for all to see. Would you do me the honor of dancing with me, my lady? She giggles, accepting my offered hand. I guide us slowly to the dance floor, our gazes never wavering. I pull her body close to mine as we move to the rhythmic beat of the song. It feels so right to have her pressed up close, and as we get lost in each other, I can't help but wonder, what are you doing to me, Stacia?
Chapter 13. Stacia. So this is how Cinderella felt when she was at the ball. Our only difference. I don't have a midnight curfew, so I'm going to enjoy this as much as I can. Dancing is one of my favorite pastimes. When I was young, I enjoyed watching my grandparents dance during family gatherings. Grandma was the one who taught me some of the dance moves I know now. It became one of my passions. I never missed a dance in high school. I even joined the cheerleading squad. But ever since I started to work, there was little opportunity for me to enjoy this activity. Now I plan to dance the night away. Asher, on the other hand, isn't a bad dancer himself. Sure, he may be a composed, strict lawyer most of the time, but boy, can he bust a move. I'm quite surprised he's willing to be with me on the dance floor. We've danced to around 5 or 6 songs already, only stopping for a short water break. An upbeat song from a boy band comes in the speakers, and Asher excitedly asks me if I still have the energy to dance. Of course, I answer enthusiastically. That's one of my favorite songs. We're back dancing in the middle in no time at all. In the middle of the dance, I feel a little sting in my left foot, but I choose to ignore it. After all, I'm used to being on my feet almost all day long when I'm working. As the song nears its end, I can really feel both my feet are now hurting. I grimace in pain, and Asher notices it. Would you like to sit down for a while? Yes, please. He ushers me back to our table, with one arm around my waist as I'm having difficulty walking. We reach our table and he offers me a glass of water, which I gladly accept. I take a few sips as I try to catch my breath at the same time. What's wrong? Asher asks me. Do we need to go to the doctor? No, nothing that serious. It's just that it seems I'm no longer used to wearing 4-inch stilettos, much less go dancing on them. My feet are hurting like hell, I explain. Well, that's enough dancing for you tonight, Missy, he admonishes me. All of a sudden, Asher is on his knees and without hesitation, he's removing my shoes. I gasp in surprise. What are you doing? I whisper as I try to take my foot off his hands. He shushes me and continues what he's doing. He removes my shoe, puts my foot on top of his legs, and starts massaging. Asher's classmates and schoolmates cheer for him as he continues to work on my foot. Surprisingly, he just laughs it off and doesn't take offense. I, on the other hand, wish I could just disappear. I can feel my ears getting hot and my face getting flushed, but I don't have any power to stop what he's doing. Asher, I think I'm okay already. You can put my foot down now, I softly tell him. But my request falls on deaf ears. Either my voice is too soft or he's ignoring what I'm saying. He goes on with what he's doing. During the entire time I'm sitting, my feet are propped on his leg, and he doesn't budge or let it go even if I try to. He just goes on massaging and rubbing my foot and heel, one at a time. I start feeling weirder, more than embarrassment. I'm starting to feel aroused by Asher's ministrations. It takes all my willpower not to moan, but I stifle the inclination After all, he's not doing this on purpose. At least that's what I think. I can feel an electric jolt with his every touch, and it goes straight to my center. I know I'm getting wetter by the second, and I pray he stops soon enough, or else I might just burst. Asher looks up at me, and that's when I realize he's doing this on purpose. I can see the knowing look and the blaze of fire in his eyes. The desire is there. I can see and feel it. I'm pretty sure he can see how he's affecting me. His eyes are looking very intensely on mine, and I have to close them so I don't combust. After a few agonizing minutes, Asher finally lets go of my foot. I put it back inside my shoe again. He just straightens the way he's sitting beside me. "We're getting out of here in 5 minutes," he whispers. Asher stands from our table and goes around to say goodbye to his friends and classmates. Once he's done, he fetches me, and we'd wave one last time to everyone before heading for the car. "Ready to go?" Asher asks me. I nod as I buckle my seatbelt. His car moves slowly forward. Neither one of us wants to talk about what happened earlier, so we just sit in silence. I could feel the sexual tension between us. The 20-minute car ride feels like an eternity. I don't know what to do, so I start fiddling with the sides of my thumb, a habit from when I get really anxious. Finally, we arrive at my house. Asher turns off the engine and looks at me. I can feel the heat rush through my body as I feel the weight of his stare. Our gazes meet, and without any words, we communicate our rising need and passion for each other. The pressure is skyrocketing. I'm not sure if he wants to stay, but he's not making any move to leave. One of us finally cracks. He leans over to my side and starts to kiss my mouth hungrily. I match his ardor and return his kisses in equal measure. I start to moan as his hands roam all over my body. We might lose our heads and have sex right here in the car if I don't put a stop to it. I put one of my hands in his before he can touch the source of the heat emanating throughout my body. Asher starts to apologize, thinking he's gone too far and that I don't want this. No one else is here tonight. Would you like to come in with me?" I offer in a shaky voice. "We can continue this inside if you want." He hears the need in my request. He smiles at me, gets out of the car and walks to my side to help me out of the car. I steady myself as I walk toward the door and fumble to insert the key on the lock. We enter, and the door closes with a click.
Chapter 14. Asher. I drive Stacia home, taking a quick look at her once before fixating my eyes back on the road. I can tell she's nervous by the way she's twiddling with her thumbs. To be honest, the foot massage I gave her earlier could have lasted only a minute or two, but I intentionally kept doing it to elicit a reaction from her. Judging by the expression on her face during the massage, and by the way she's acting now, I know I've succeeded. Throughout the 20-minute car ride, both Stacia and I don't speak a single word. I did, however, want to break the ice. But where's the fun in that? I know for a fact there's a whole lot of sexual tension surrounding us inside the car. I slow down as we reach her house and turn off the engine. I turn my head to her side and meet her gaze as she looks me straight in the eyes. There's something different about the way she's looking at me, and I know exactly what it is. She glances at my lips, then returns her gaze to my eyes. Even with that little gesture, my member stiffens. My plan is backfiring because I think I'm the one getting anxious. The movement of her tongue as she lightly brushes it over her lips is making it hard for me to keep it together. I can feel my crotch area become tighter and tighter as I imagine the things I want to do to her at this very second. My eyes scan her whole body as she sits there. The dress I picked out from the choices Frances sent hugs her body in all the right places. Then I gaze back up to her eyes, only to see her slightly biting her bottom lip. Damn, that's it. I lean over and crush my lips against hers as I kiss her hungrily. Well, well, well. Things are heating up again. You know what to do. Go to VicSavonRomance.com to get the dirty details that this platform won't put on the air. I know it sucks, but at least you can get a 40% discount with code VIXA40 to make up for it. Use it while it lasts and apply it to every digital product in your cart. Back to the story.
Chapter 15. Stacia. 3 months have passed since the fateful night Asher and I gave in to our desires. Now, I don't know how to label our relationship, if I can even call it that. We don't talk about what happened between us. It's like some sort of secret relationship. The ones you hide from your parents because you're scared they won't approve of and you'll have to bear the consequences if they find out. We continue to meet when possible and have sex, of course. So far, no one seems to have suspected a thing. How we've lasted this long, I honestly have no idea. Asher's now back in the city where he's established his work and practice. After attending the family reunion and fulfilling his other obligations here, he went back to his apartment. But he comes back here at least 3 times a week. Everyone is quite surprised how often Asher's visiting when his parents usually have to beg him to come home just so they can see him and spend time with him. There are some whispers, but no one talks about it openly. Ed just looks at me with a raised brow and a teasing glint in his eye whenever he sees Asher coming again for a visit. I'm somewhat surprised even he's keeping his thoughts to himself. No one's happier about this change than Anna. She enjoys having her son around and cherishes the time she's able to spend with him. During the days Asher's here, she makes sure the cook prepares his favorite dishes. But she also can't help her curiosity, and she tries to ask him about it whenever she has a chance. Son, I'm not trying to pry into your life or anything, but I'm curious what brings you here so frequently. Is there something I should know about? Anna asks Asher one time over dinner. Nothing in particular, really. Why? Don't you want me here? Asher counters. Oh, no. I'm definitely enjoying your presence. I'm actually hoping you're here because of a girl. I'm looking forward to you getting married and probably settling down here, Anna explains. Please, Mom, not that again, Asher pleads. Dear, you're not getting any younger. Neither are your father and me. We want to be strong enough when our grandchildren arrive. We want to play with them. Not to mention we want to know all we've worked hard for will pass down to family, Anna states. Asher doesn't respond anymore. He just shakes his head at his mother and tries to change the topic. I'm still instructed to look after him and his needs whenever he's here. And as someone who takes her job seriously, I make sure all his needs are taken care of. And by everything, I do mean everything. Especially his need for sex. Now, I know his mama wasn't saying, take my black maid and make sure you screw her. But I'm fine with how this has turned out. I lie awake thinking about a lot of things. Just earlier, Asher kissed me goodbye as he left and went back to the city. I'll see him again in about 2 to 3 days. Every time he's here, he always has time for me, aside from seeing each other at their house, where we steal moments together whenever we could. Asher decided to rent an apartment where we can be alone and do whatever we want. It's our secret place. Asher is also very generous. He makes sure I don't overwork myself and am being paid well. I convinced him that I like hard work, and he seems to get that, so he isn't trying to get me to live a white lady's who lunch lifestyle. But he's making sure I'm not sweating my butt off for a few dollars. He doesn't want me lacking in anything. Every now and then he would go shopping, so our pantry is well stocked. He always buys things for me too. To say I'm happy with our situation is an understatement, even though I know this might not last long. Sometimes, on days when I'm sad or anxious, a voice in my head tells me I don't deserve any of this. It feels like I'm a mistress who needs to be kept hidden from everyone else. It pains me to know I can never tell the entire world about my relationship with Asher. There are times when I feel I'm just being used. I know the time will come when he'll grow tired of me or find somebody else who's more attractive and more intelligent, not a poor girl. I tell myself this isn't a rich white man versus poor black woman thing. I've gotten crap from my friends before about working with a fancy rich white lady who likes me to bow. But the truth is they treat me damn well, and I adore them. And they've never made feel inferior. I won't let myself feel that way either. I think that I just worry about my relationship because I've never wanted something so much that I didn't give up on. I work so hard so my family can be supported. I don't want to care so much for Asher, and then it all be over, for him to find someone better. Then I'll be set aside and forgotten, and all of these wonderful feelings will be gone. I can't deny I feel something for Asher. It's more than physical attraction, I know, but I doubt he feels the same way about me, not with the same depth. I know I'm falling for him, and I don't know what to do about it. I know our situation can't stay like this forever, but will it change? Can the circumstances even allow it to change? As things are, I know I'll end up in tears. I take a deep breath and sigh. I can still smell Asher's perfume lingering on the pillow beside me. I close my eyes and inhale his scent. Damn, what should I do now? I stand up, get my robe from a nearby chair, and wrap it around me. I walk toward the dressing table and study my appearance. Has anything changed? Has someone noticed? I open the drawer, and underneath some of the clutter, there's a plain white envelope. I open it and read the paper inside it. Single intrauterine pregnancy, 8 weeks age of gestation, fetal heartbeat at 140 BPM. Together with the report is a black and white copy of the results of my sonogram earlier. Although I can't make out the image, it's our very tiny baby. I've been delayed for several days now. Yesterday, before Asher arrived back in town, I made an appointment with the doctor. There I received the news I'm indeed pregnant, and Asher's going to be a father. I put the paper and the image back inside the envelope and put it on top of the dresser. Our current setup is fine with me, and I can't ask for anything more. But this time, some things need to change. There's going to be another life dependent on us. We have to plan accordingly. But how do I break the news to Asher? I'm afraid of how he'll react. I'm already starting to show, and I have to tell him before he finds out for himself. I resolve to tell him everything the next time he comes home. I hope and pray he'll be happy with the news.
Chapter 16. Asher. I miss her even though I always take the time and effort to see her. My addiction to her is taking me over, making me crazy during the times I'm not with her. Stacia's my drug and being with her is my antidote. I hurriedly swipe my keycard in our apartment to enter. As soon as I step in, I notice a seductive, elegant, flowery scent in the air. I follow it and it leads to our room. I smile as soon as I see the slightly open door. I push it wider, and I'm amazed by the view in front of me. Stacia takes my breath away. Her flawless, naked body is sprawled on the bed, waiting. Stacia smiles at me, licking her luscious lips in the process. My eyes follow the movement of her pink tongue, and it's so titillating. If you want to know where this spicy scene is headed, you won't be able to hear it now due to this platform's guidelines and restrictions. But we want to make it up to you by offering the unabridged version of any Vixa audiobook, including this one, for 40% off. All you need to do is go to vixavonromance.com and use code VIXA40 at checkout. Are you enjoying the story so far? Let's get back into it. That was great, I moan as I roll over and lie down beside her. Stacia stares at me and then she bestows me a smile that shakes my world. Hi, she says. Hello. I kiss the tip of her nose, pulling her in for cuddles. I hope we can be like this forever.
I hope you're enjoying this audiobook by Vixa Vaughn. If you want to keep hearing more audiobooks, then please hit that subscribe button and like the video. It may seem insignificant, but the more people that subscribe, the easier it is to produce more audiobooks in the future. So please, help us out and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening, and now back to your book.
Chapter 17. Stacia. A beam of sunlight peeks through the curtain and hits my eyes as I slowly open them. I turn the other way and can't help but smile at the sight of Asher sleeping beside me. The way the sun is hitting the features of his face fills me with awe. Why did I get so lucky? Who would have thought someone like him would even want to be with me? I slide my hand to feel my belly. I finally decide I'm going to tell him over breakfast. I honestly feel nervous about telling him because I'm not sure how he'll take it. I sigh before slowly leaning over to give Asher a peck on the cheek and carefully getting up from the bed. I put on a robe since I'm still naked from last night's activities. I try to exit the bedroom without making too much noise. I walk to the kitchen and check what breakfast I can prepare. I decide to make some good old-fashioned pancakes with a side of egg and country sausages. I mean, who doesn't love pancakes, right? I grab all the ingredients I need and bring them to the counter to get started. I unconsciously smile as I cook, imagining doing this if we become a real family. I could get used to this. While I wait for the pancake to cook, I start setting the table. I set 2 placemats and place a small vase with a sunflower in the center. I get 2 sets of utensils and place them on the table as well. I check on the pancake, and it looks like it still needs a minute or two. No bubbly edges yet, but I don't want to crank up my heat and ruin a good thing, so I walk over to the other side of the counter to brew some coffee. I set the machine and head back to the front of the stove. I flip the last pancake onto the plate and bring them over to the table. All that's missing is my breakfast date. I wonder if I should wake him up or just wait for him to do so by himself. I check the time and see it's already 9 o'clock in the morning, so I decide to do the former. I start walking back to the bedroom, but I stop in my tracks when the doorbell rings. I turn to the door as my eyebrows furrow in confusion. I wonder who it could be. I'm pretty sure it's not somebody we know since we don't go around telling people where we're staying. After all, no one knows about us yet. I guess there's no reason to be nervous, but I can't help but feel a little anxious, and I don't even know why. I shake my thoughts off as I reach my hand out to touch the doorknob. It's probably just a random neighbor or something, right? I swing the door open, and right in front of me is a beautiful redhead. She's wearing a long coat along with some high-heeled boots and those huge sunglasses that are covering her eyes. Why do I feel like I've seen her before? She looks quite familiar. "You're Stacia, right?" she asks as she takes a small step forward, causing me to take a step back. Yes, I am. Can I do anything for you, ma'am?" I hesitantly ask her. "Actually, you can." She removes her sunglasses, and I immediately recognize the eyes. "Do you not recognize me?" "I'm not sure, ma'am." The woman rolls her eyes, obviously annoyed by my answer. "I'm Connie Redfield. I was at the gathering at the Wellingtons, you know, the one you were serving at." "Ah, yes, of course." How could I forget? I recall thinking she had an angelic smile that day, but with a tinge of animosity. But then, why is she here, and how did she know where to find me? "What can I help you with, Miss Redfield?" I disconnect from my thoughts and smile at her. "Do you really not know who I am?" She crosses her arms as if waiting for me to say more. I guess you're one of the Wellingtons' friends?" I say in a questioning tone, not wanting to upset her. "Friends?" she scoffs. "You are clueless." She mutters this under her breath, but still loud enough for me to hear. "Excuse me? What is she talking about? I'm really confused right now." "Let me make things clear with you, sweetie." She slowly walks in the house, causing me to step aside. "I'm not just a friend of the Wellingtons. I'm Asher's girlfriend. You don't see me around because I live in New York. My jaw drops upon hearing those words come out of her mouth. Girlfriend? I ask, still not processing the information Connie just delivered. Yes, that's what I just said. Are you deaf or something? The irritation is very evident in her voice. Listen here, you better start getting your things right now. Playtime's over and it's time to leave. Asher's been planning to stop this affair soon anyway. So what's the point of staying? Tears start clouding my view, but she still goes on with her spiel. Oh, and let me correct myself. I'm not Asher's girlfriend. I'm his fiancée. Connie flashes her ring right in front of me. My heart breaks even more as I recognize it. It's the Wellington family heirloom. Anna's shown it to me a couple of times. What's wrong, sweetie? Why do you look pale all of a sudden? She mockingly asks. I deliberately move my eyes away from the ring and up to Connie's eyes. I quickly gather my things and change into some appropriate clothes. I take one last glance at Asher as he continues to sleep before I leave the house. Don't ever show your face here again, I hear Connie say as I run out. My chest is about to burst from all the pain I'm feeling, and I can't stop the tears from flowing down my face. I'm devastated. What am I supposed to do now? What about the baby?
Chapter 18. Asher. Stacia doesn't know I'm aware of her movements. I try to keep myself from smiling as soon as I feel her lips brush over my cheek. I've been half awake for half an hour before she kissed me. I was hoping to go back to sleep. That's why I've been keeping my eyes closed for the past 30 minutes. I feel her getting off the bed, and I try to get the smallest peek so she won't notice. I catch her bare back before she puts on a robe. I smile to myself as she heads out the door. I continue to lie in bed for a few more minutes. Even though I'm half asleep, I can sense Stacia's presence as she re-enters the door and joins me back in bed. As soon as I feel her body next to mine, I move her closer to me while hugging her. My eyes instantly open when I inhale an unfamiliar scent that's a little harsh on my nostrils. They grow wider as I see strands of red hair resting on the pillow. I sit up abruptly as I realize it's not Stacia. What the hell? I shout as I move away from the naked woman in front of me. What's wrong, baby? Don't you miss me? She crawls toward me. My mouth drops in disbelief, and no words would come out as I try to process what's going on. She slowly places her hand on my chest and moves it down until she grabs hold of my manhood. I come to my senses and push her off the bed, not caring if she gets hurt. What the hell is wrong with you, Asher? She complains as she hits the floor with a loud thud. Are you kidding me? What the hell are you doing here, Connie? I shout angrily as I grab the nearest thing that can cover me up. Where's Stacia? I ask as I start to dress in my clothes from last night. Oh, your maid? She rolls her eyes. I sent her out of the house. Who the hell do you think you are? Who gave you the right? Frustration is oozing out of my voice as I talk to her. What are you mad about? She doesn't even belong here. That maid doesn't fit your status, Asher. She's just a lowlife nobody. I grow more aggravated at Connie's words. Playtime's over, baby. It's time for you to accept I'm the one who belongs with you. I take a deep breath. Instead of further entertaining Connie's nonsense, I grab my phone and try to call Stacia's number to no avail. She shut her phone off. I rub my hand across my face out of extreme disappointment. I spot a white envelope on the nightstand as I look in that direction and immediately grab it, hoping it's a message. It's a report from Stacia's checkup. It says everything is 100% okay with her pregnancy. Wait, what? Stacia is pregnant? I'm going to be a father. I'm overwhelmed with joy as I scan the piece of paper in my hand, but immediately turn pale as soon as I realize what's going on. Stacia ran away. I hurriedly finished dressing up and grabbed my stuff before making my way to the door. Where do you think you're going? Connie shouts after me, but I don't even bother to stop. If you don't disappear, I'll call the police! I shout back in warning before I shut the door as I step out of the house. I can hear Connie cursing and screaming while I walk toward the car. She can scream her head off if she pleases, because I don't give a crap. All I want to do is find Stacia. I start the car and speed away. I decide to go to the house first. I need to ask my parents something before I go out and search for Stacia. I'm feeling all types of emotions as I drive. I'm so happy Stacia's pregnant, but at the same time, I can't help but think about what Connie may have said to her, and how much damage it may have already caused our relationship. Somehow, I have an idea what Connie could have said to Stacia, since I noticed something on her finger. It probably had a lot to do with that, which is why I need to go home and see for myself. I slow down the car once I reach the driveway and rush out of the car, not even bothering to close the door. I open the door and immediately search for my mother and father. "Good morning, Mr. Wellington, we weren't—" A servant starts to greet as I rush past after entering the door. I interrupt frantically, cutting him off. "Where are Mother and Father?" I ask as I search the other areas of the room. "I could call them for you, sir." Ed chimes as he emerges from the living room. "That's okay, Ed. I'll call them myself, but are they in their room?" I ask again. "Mrs. Wellington is there and has not left the house. I'm not sure if Mr. Wellington has already gotten back from his early appointment," Ed explains. "Thank you," I say before heading upstairs. "Oh, and Ed?" I turn around before taking another step. "Yes, Mr. Wellington?" He tilts his head up as I call his attention. "Again, just call me Asher," I tell him. "Of course, Asher." He nods before I continue to make my way to my parents' room. "Who is it?" I hear my mother's voice after knocking 3 times on their bedroom door. "It's Asher." She immediately opens the door. "Oh, my dear, I thought you won't be around today." My mother hugs me. "I need to talk to you and Father about something. Is he around?" I lead her to the chaise inside their bedroom. "He said he'll be here in a few minutes. Is there anything wrong, dear?" she asks with worry. No, Mother. There's nothing wrong. I just need to ask you for something." I quickly assure her. "Oh, all right. I believe your father will be here in a few minutes. Let's wait for him." I nod my head and agree. A few minutes later, my father arrives and my mother tells him I have something to discuss with them. I stand across them and start talking. "So, what is it that you want to talk about?" my father asks. I've always prided myself on never disappointing him and doing what he asks, but this time, I'm willing to take my chances for the sake of my relationship with Stacia. "Listen, I know you may not agree with this, but I don't want to marry Connie." They look on as I speak. I take a deep breath before continuing. "I want to marry Stacia. I love her, and we're having a baby." Judging by the look on their faces, they're surprised by my announcement. However, neither of them are saying anything, so I go on. "I would also like to ask for the family heirloom so I can ask Stacia to marry me." The silence in the air is making me anxious, but my father finally decides to speak. "Do whatever will make you happy, son. You've already made us proud. You deserve to be happy." To be honest, I'm quite surprised to hear those words from my father. He isn't the type to smother you with affection, but I appreciate hearing those words from him. Besides, we love Stacia. We think she's a lovely woman. My mother stands up and heads over to their dresser. "And I want you to marry her as soon as you can, to be honest, because I don't want gossip to tarnish the real love you two must share. People are going to talk, but let's give them less to talk about. Stacia's a good girl and doesn't deserve the squawking of all these people." She walks back to us with a box in hand and gives it to me. I feel a sense of relief upon seeing what's inside. I knew it. The ring Connie was wearing is just a copy.
Chapter 19. Stacia. 3 soft knocks sound from my door. "Baby girl," I hear Ed gently say from the other side. "It's been almost a week since you've locked yourself up. Everyone's been so worried about you." I dare not move, nor do I make a sound. I like it here. I like the way I am, safe and dark, where no one can find and hurt me. Thud, thud, Thud. 3 loud knocks pound through my door like thunder. "Hey, yo, biatch, open up," says Ed, his voice now a booming baritone. "I know you ain't been thinking about making me look like a fool up in here, because if you do, oh, Jesus save you if, 'cause I've been covering your skinny butt for days now, you feel me? How you just gone and let a brother lose face in front of the Wellingtons, huh? Don't you be testing me. Don't you—" "What?" Ed suddenly stops scolding, and as I try to listen closer, I hear shuffling behind the door. "Sir, yes, sir," Ed says to someone behind the door. 3 soft knocks sound again. "Stacia," says the last voice I want to hear, even as my heart desperately yearns to. Silence follows. "Stacia, it's me, Asher." I roll over to the other side of the bed and hide under the covers, hoping all of this is just a nightmare. I can't let him see me like this. Not now. "Girl, open up. Please, you gonna make me cry," screams Ed in his high-pitched voice. I mean, whatever. He quickly reverts to a deeper voice. "It's okay, Ed." "I got this," says Asher. "Stacia, I understand if you don't want to see me right now, or if you don't even want to talk, but I need to talk to you. So I'm just going to say it right here. I'm sorry you had to learn about Connie like that. Memories begin to flood my mind. Memories I've worked so hard to forget. The day Connie suddenly introduced herself as Asher's fiancée. I try to cover my head and ears with the pillow, doing my best to block out his voice. "We were indeed supposed to get married," Asher explains. My heart breaks the moment I hear those words. I can't believe Asher would use me like this. I mean, we weren't a thing, but I always thought he was single at least. "But Stacia, it's not what you think. I didn't want to marry her." "What?" I slowly remove the pillow from my head and put down the blanket. My ears are pricked for what he's about to say next. I get out of bed and quietly come closer to the door. Asher continues. "It was all arranged. My parents didn't want to see me single for so long. They said it would stabilize the business and please the board to know succession is set. So they did what they thought was best. Find the closest suitable candidate and plan the wedding details behind my back before telling me all about it at the party. So that's why Connie was there before the gathering. It was strange to see a young woman be so casual with Mrs. Wellington. She was there to talk about the arranged marriage. I know that's hard to believe, Stacia, but it's the truth," says Asher, his voice beginning to falter. "It's okay if you think I'm just making excuses so you'll come to talk to me. I can even accept it if you're skeptical of my story. But I hope you believe me when I say you're more than just a fling to me, Stacia. Don't get me wrong. I love whatever we do whenever we're together. But ever since I met you, I've changed my perspective on the world. I used to think women were just dull, opportunistic gold diggers. And my family is thrilled that we're in love. I'm sorry if I kept our relationship a secret," Asher confesses. "But I couldn't take it if people say I'm only using you, because I swear on my mother's life, Stacia, that will never be true. You're more than that to me. I told my parents about us, in case you're wondering why they're giving you your space." "You sneaky bastard, you should have told me." "Ooh, girl, are you listening?" Ed asks the shrill voice before he bangs on the door again. "Hey, biatch, you best be listening to your man right now." Edmund, Asher intervenes. "It's all right. I got this." "That's what I said, killer," replies Ed. "I'ma let you do your thing." "Thank you, Ed." "Stacia," Asher starts again. I lean behind the door and listen carefully. "Stacia, if Connie isn't the real reason you're hiding from me, then let me tell you, it's okay. I'm not mad. I'm thrilled with the news, and I'm most certainly ecstatic to be a father. I would love to have a baby with you because, Stacia Keys, I love you, and I'd want nothing more than to spend the rest of my days with you. Will you marry me? He knows I'm pregnant, and he's happy. Oh my God, open up! Ed shrieks as he bangs on the door. Oh wait, it's not locked? Let me turn the knob. As I feel the door behind me give way, all the happiness in my system immediately transforms into fear as I fall outside my door. Lucky for me, Asher's there, kneeling, and he catches me perfectly. He smiles as he sees my tear-stained face because he already knows my answer. I do, Asher Wellington. Of course I'll marry you, I say as I hug the man of my dreams and kiss him dearly. All this time, Ed is crying happily beside us. When is such a thing ever going to happen to me?
Chapter 20. Asher. Happy birthday, Angel. The crowd cheers as we all celebrate my son's first birthday. Stacia, carrying our son in her arms, is just as beautiful as the day I met her. Confetti pops all over the balcony. The sun is shining bright, and the sky is an everlasting blue. Nothing can go wrong today. Oh, Mr. Wellington, yoo-hoo, says Ed as he taps my shoulder from behind. Edmund! I happily greet him with a hug. So glad you could come. Are you kidding me? I wouldn't miss it for the world. This must be Angel. Hello, little man. Oh, he's such a sweetie pie, I can tell. He'll leave a lot of girls crying in his wake. Or boys, Ed's companion comments. He's almost as tall as him, albeit with close-cropped hair and a much more muscular build. Or boys, Ed reiterates. I'ma get you for that later. Oh, how rude of me. Stacia, Asher, please meet my partner, Tobias McJones. Tobias shakes Stacia's in my hand. Pleasure, thank you for inviting me. Your home is magnificent. And you should be flattered, Ed informs. Toby here is one of the most sought-after interior designers on the West Coast. It's great to be able to put a face to a name finally. And of course, it's great to see you again, Ed, says Stacia. How's San Francisco? It's gorgeous. Loving the chance to get to be more involved in the community and grow there. Love the energy, love the food. No wonder Anna wanted to expand operations there. Mom wanted to spread her wine business into San Francisco, and seeing how much she loved Ed's handling of my secret relationship with Stacia, she gave her the operations manager job almost immediately. Did someone say my name? Asks Mother as she and Father walk toward us from the stairs. And there's the cutest little baby in the world. She takes Angel and cradles him in her arms as she coos baby noises at him. Well, he certainly has the Wellington eyes. Good, strong, and bright, compliments Father as he holds my son's hand. Slowly but surely, Mother and Father slowly drift back into the party, carrying our son into the foray. Ed and Toby join them after a while, leaving Stacia and me on the balcony. There goes our son, Stacia whispers to me as we observe the party from above. Can you believe it's already been a year? She asks me. I do, I reply as I hug her from behind and kiss her lightly on the neck. And I'm thankful for every second I got to spend it with him. We make good babies, Stacia. You make it sound like we did it on purpose, Stacia jokes. Well, I was pretty wild on you back then. It was only a matter of time. Because, as my dad would say, the Wellingtons have the strongest sperm in the world. That's why I knew, no matter what, Stacia, this family is going to work. I love you. I love you too, Asher, she replies as we kiss each other. You know what I can't believe? I ask. It's been almost a month since we last made love. Stop it, Stacia playfully scolds. What? Angel's in good hands. The guests are all occupied with the party, and there's still one place in the mansion we haven't checked off our screw-it list. Oh, okay, fine, but let's make it quick. Stacia and I are laughing as we sneak inside the mansion and head to the place where it all started, the library. This was where I first knew I felt something more for Stacia, where I finally saw her for who she is, where I started to appreciate her, not only for her physical beauty, but for her intelligence and loving personality. Sorry to interrupt. I know no one likes missing out on a spicy grand finale, but unfortunately this platform won't allow us to air what's about to happen next. To make up for this, we're offering a 40% discount on the full unabridged version of this audiobook when you go to vixavonromance.com and apply code VIXO40 at checkout. Thank you for listening to Vix Avon Romance. Without missing a beat, she asks me, "Ready for round 2? I can't believe this is my life. We belong together forever. I'm so glad we took a chance at love.